beginning, I had this simple idea. Record a podcast about a topic that is all the rage right now. So I said to myself, write about a topic that you yourself have experienced. So of course I decided to make a podcast about migration. I lived in 3 countries. I moved twice between countries. Once when I was a child being moved, and once as an adult that moved his family. I knew that the things I wanted to shout out loudly in the world weren't the ones that the dominant mainstream wants to hear. But there was this hope, and still is, that some people want to hear the other side. So what happened? I recorded 4 episodes and then stopped. Why? How could that happen? Well, it is because Hans Heino Evers was right. You cannot and should not reduce every storyline to migration. Although there were also personal reasons which made me stop writing, the main problem was that I felt as if I had said everything that I wanted to say, and everything new was just a repetition. Me trying to say the same thing differently, as if I needed to use other terms to explain something that was already perfectly understood. But was it? I really don't know. But it doesn't matter how much time passed, or how much time I let pass. Some thoughts and some feelings kept crawling back, never leaving me alone, as if the muses weren't happy with my work and demanded from me to try again, to do better, to not give up. So I'm writing these lines because maybe there are better words, more exact terms, and better examples to use in stating my point. We'll see. So, again, what happened? I remember a family member telling me that no matter where I go or where I live, I will always feel miserable inside. Although it is slightly insulting, it is also probably true. I am a Slav. What do you expect? You want me to be happy? But let's assume that it is true. Isn't that the best argument to not stay in a country you hate? If I have to be miserable, why not in a beautiful country like Greece, with beaches and sunshine and nice people? There are foreigners in Germany who book holidays on one of the Spanish islands, who have in the meantime become German islands. So they are surrounded by German tourists, and after just a few days they start complaining about the Germans and their strange ways of behaving. So this is the life that I should choose? How is this gonna make me feel better? Being miserable in a miserable country will not help. Shouldn't this be clear to everybody? I have spoken with many friends in Serbia and Greece about my decision to leave the West and go live in a failed state, a so-called shithole. People understand what I mean when I say that money will not make you happy. They understand the words, and they might slightly get the structure of the sentence. But for them, this is just a scene from a movie, from a Disney cartoon, and nothing more. I am sure they think, he is an asshole. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He never lived in a shithole. Well, that might be true, but I lived for 29 years in the country of your dreams, and you don't seem to give a damn about what I have to tell you. In the end, everybody should go to Germany, live there for 29 years, and then we could talk about who might be nearer the truth. But I'm getting tired of justifying my decision. Whatever happened, happened. Unlike in Germany, people on the Balkans have grown up with a big dose of patriotism. From the beginning, they learn to be proud of their culture, their history, the religion, the cuisine, which is of course easier if your history doesn't involve killing 6 million Jews or starting 2 world wars. But this patriotic feeling of being a proud Serb or Greek leads over time, over many years, to some logical problems. After over 30 years of political and economical failure, people start to ask themselves, what should they be proud of if they cannot succeed in building a functioning country, something that even the Germans did after killing 6 million Jews and starting 2 world wars. I have experienced it more than once, this feeling of being proud turning in a bitter belief of, we are the worst, we are incapable, we do not deserve it. This is a hate of your own kind that is gladly exploited by Marxists who dream of living in an episode of Star Trek without all the evil things like borders, religion, and patriotism. This hate now dominates the thinking of everybody who considers him or herself educated enough. Patriotism, these things that makes no sense, is something that the dumb people do, those who do not get it. And then there is family. You see, when my parents decided to leave, their home country was falling apart. War was destroying parts of it, and Serbia was fighting with international sanctions of an unseen scale that Russia and Iran can only dream of getting. So when they left, they just had to. So the left behind family members felt sorry for them, and everybody knew why things were happening. And everybody was sad because of the right reasons. And there was, I imagine, this feeling of the world not being fair, but knowing that people have to fight for their future. When I decided to leave, I was living in a country where everybody still wants to come to and live in, and no family member really understood why I am leaving. I mean, why? Why should someone leave paradise, this country that offers jobs and money or whatever it is that you are looking for? My family members still don't get it. I think my father did a little bit because till the end, I reckon, he really didn't feel at home in Germany. But then he died all of a sudden, and I was left with a family that despises me for going away. Going away and destroying the family. And I get it. I did destroy something that on the surface was functioning. It just makes me sad or angry or however you want to call it, is that my family feels incapable of understanding that something which feels right to you must not be right for everybody else. And I am sure we all know this. We all experience it. It's just that I didn't buy the wrong car or a too expensive mobile phone. I left the country, and this is something that some people just cannot forgive. That's how it seems to me. And that is family, folks. So, now, almost 3 years later, I can tell you without any doubt that leaving Germany was the best decision I ever made. And I can tell you that everything in my life got worse. Surprisingly, I must confess. How can it be, I ask myself often, when I am alone, sitting in the corner and crying my eyes out because nobody loves me? How can the best decision of my life make my life miserable? The short answer is, I haven't the slightest clue. The long answer is as follows. As I said once already, I had a comfortable life in Germany, getting help from an overbearing social state and family members that were always eager to help me. I am pretty sure that without the help of my mother, I would not be the father of 3 children. I would have probably stopped after the first one. So I knew this already before leaving. But I had to move to Greece and live here for 2 years without almost any help to realize how fracking hard it can be. And this opened my eyes to personal problems that I ignored in Germany, just because I could. So what happened here? The old saying seems to be correct. The truth will set you free. You see, it doesn't matter how bad things get. Nothing is as important as knowing what is true. And my old life in paradise was never more than a sedating illusion. It is funny and crazy at the same time that this sentence reads like the synopsis of the Matrix movies. So what happened? I realized that I'm not going back. I don't care how good the meat tastes, as long as I know that it is not real. This is the answer I was looking for. But it is an answer I didn't really expect, because, again, as naive as I was expecting my life to become better in Greece, which would then lead to me being happier. And it didn't happen like that. Every aspect of my life got worse and is getting even more worse. But I don't regret anything. It feels right being here, and even if happiness seems to be far away, one might assume that I am moving in the right direction. And I heard John Vervaeke say in his talks that whenever he asks his students, do they want to know if their partner is cheating on them or leave that to remain a mystery, most people want to know the truth, even if it hurts. When I started writing this episode, I didn't really have the answer for the question, what happened? But this kind of writing is like describing your life to yourself and getting some kind of conclusion, sometimes even a whole sentence. And after the voice in my head whispered to me, the truth will set you free, another one said, know yourself. So, 2 different religious traditions. You pick the one you like the most. And while thinking about what to do with this epiphany, my mind told me this funny comparison. Imagine you having built a car that looks like the car of your dreams. And it works, so that makes you very proud. But for the car to run correctly, it needs thousands of liters of oil daily. So you say, what is the problem? I happen to live in a world where I have an endless supply at my disposal. I love my car, it works flawlessly. So you keep on using your dream car and you enjoy the rest of your life. But let's assume something happens. A rift in the interdimensional protective barrier transports you to our reality, where after just a few meters, your car stops and you realize that the amount of oil you have is very limited. What now? Let's be honest. Shouldn't we call this car a failure from the beginning? What good is a car if it only works in one perfect dimension that I had to make up? An engineering marvel is a product that can be used under vastly different conditions, which includes also a world with limited supplies. So, the car was an engineering failure from the beginning, and the sooner we accept it, the better. I did my part. I accepted it, and that is why I am not going back. But the funny and slightly unexpected thing is that I started this with the question, What happened? Why did I stop making the podcast? But I ended answering the question, what happened? Why am I not going back to Germany, although my life got worse? Well, because the first question is an easy one to answer. It's somewhere between I got bored and I got alive and I don't make money with this and no one is listening. Although I know at least 3 people that will listen to this, probably crazy. And now I don't know how to end this episode, which is always the best moment to end it. So, goodbye.